Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours. Here along with Spence.
Good morning. Is this our annual cooking show?
This is our annual drinking show.
Drinking show. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
We're going to
A little too early for that. We should have that, like an evening show once a year where it's just
Who's going to be the host since I don't drink?
alcohol's involved. Alcohol's allowed. I mean, you don't have to drink, but
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Our number, 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. I don't know where the rest of the guys are. I know Mike said that he was kind of sick. He lost his voice and he didn't feel good since Friday, so he doesn't
Give it a
think
rest.
he's going to be here. Nick drove up to New York to be with his parents for Christmas, so he may be sleeping late. And I'm getting kind of a little concerned about the guys in the UK.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I
Yeah,
did
haven't
get a
heard much from
hold
them.
of Steve, and Steve was just saying that he's like on a down part of his life, bored. And I said, well, come and join us. But at least he's alive there. I don't know what's going on with Jorvik. I cannot find on Appear.in. Nobody's seen
Didn't he
him.
hurt his back really bad?
Yeah, where his shoulder was
He injured his
bad.
back.
And
Yeah, I remember he had to get surgery, right?
yeah, well, he went to the hospital. In the UK, they don't do surgery right away. But he went to the doctor. They gave him this, they gave him that. They told him to do these exercises. But he was at least communicative. Now, nothing in the last 3-4 weeks. Nothing, and nobody heard from him. So I'm a little concerned. British winter, yeah, Arnie. Another kind of a down that doesn't exactly have to do with computers, but everybody always asks me, who is Norm? Well, Norm is a good friend of ours from the Y, and Norm passed away last weekend.
Oh,
He had a good life. He was in his 90s. And he's probably looking at us. And I got a notice from his grandson, and I said, well, I'm not going to stop shouting to him. He's probably going to hear it somewhere. I'm sure they have internet up there. They must, right?
yeah, there's no net neutrality up there too.
There's no net neutrality down here either now. Yeah.
Oh, guess who was our server last night at the Irregardless?
You went to the Irregardless and saw Hannah.
Well, she served us. She was our server.
Wow.
And she actually brought up net neutrality.
Yeah, she asked me.
Yeah, she said, I was talking to my dad, and then I mentioned a few things about it, and she goes, "Oh, I never really thought of it that way."
I know. That's
I
the
talked about
problem.
it from the business sense, and then I
Yep.
said, you realize that these rules were only in place since 2015,
Yep.
these
And they didn't
so-called
do good.
rules,
They didn't do anybody any good.
and it really didn't make any difference. And
Right.
how is it that the stuff suddenly now, all these things are not going to happen because of these rules that were only imposed 2.5 years ago?
Right. There
Oh,
was
well, yeah, I think, yeah. So it was good. But no, I did say, there are some cases, there are some things that are actually addressed by other rules that are in place, that we don't need this sweeping, let's dumb it down so everybody feels that it's fair. Well, government fair never means better.
I mean,
So
I can't think of anything that net neutrality did for anybody other than make things worse in a way, because the big guys didn't want to expand.
Here was the one thing that we talked about that she agreed with me to say, well, if a company put in a policy that was something that people didn't like, what would happen to their business? Right. Why would they do it? I mean, when they were talking about throttling and all that stuff, everybody, and what was our consensus as we were talking about the throttling? I bet it won't happen, because they'll find out that people say, I'm leaving you because of the throttling. So, all these rules and things that are supposedly put in place, that most of that whole throttling thing happened when? During net neutrality. So how is it that it fixed anything? Now we're seeing, and I explained how when I was in Alaska, I was on my iPhone. I used it for tethering. I was never once throttled.
Right.
I always had excellent service. Now, granted, there aren't that many customers in Alaska, but the point was that they never imposed. I was in a busy metropolitan area where I probably would have been throttled. I wasn't. Because I should take that back. When I say the population is low, the coverage is pretty good for the state, but I wouldn't say that it's got anywhere close to the capacity of down in the lower 48. They just don't have the infrastructure.
They will.
If any place there was a place to have throttling, it would be there. The one cable provider in Fairbanks has caps. Well, they have caps. You can go to the other provider that's a DSL provider that has like a 75 or 100 meg service, and there's no caps. So what would net neutrality do? It would say that either everybody has to have a cap or nobody has a cap. So you can buy, and it shouldn't. Fairness doesn't mean that everybody will get exactly the same service, because that is theoretically and technically impossible. But you will get adequate access to service so that you can buy what you want and what you can afford.
Here, I mean, there's a little article that I read yesterday. Michael Powell, who was a former chairman of the FCC, commented, and he said, with an ounce of reflection, one knows that none of this will come to pass, and the imagined doom will join the failed catastrophic prediction of Y2K. He's comparing it. And massive snowstorm that fizzled to mere dustings. All too common in Washington, D.C., sadly. Rational debate. Like Elvis has left the building, the vibrant and open internet that Americans cherish isn't going anywhere. In the days...
If anything, it was stifling innovation.
Right. So listen, in the days, weeks, and years following this vote, Americans will be merrily shopping online for the holidays, posting pictures on Instagram, vigorously voicing political news on Facebook, and asking Alexa the score of the game. Startups and small businesses will continue to hatch and flourish, and students will be online studiously taking courses. Time will prove that the FCC did not destroy the internet, and our digital lives will go on just as they have been for years. This confidence rests on the fact, and this is the important part here, that ISPs highly value the open internet and the principles of net neutrality, much more than some animated activists would have you think. Why? For one, because it's a better way of making money than a closed internet.
Absolutely.
So they have
what kind?
Go ahead.
What kind of innovation would there be if the model was set that if you were going to enter the market, you had to have this specific model because it was a fair way to serve the people that you choose to serve?
Mm-hmm.
What new technology, when it was first introduced, was introduced for the masses, right? When
Right.
cell phone technology first came out, it was an exclusive thing that only people with a lot of money could afford. But what happened? What did technology drive? Technology drove cheaper, better, smaller, right?
Right.
So now we have cell phones. You can go to Walmart and buy a cell phone for $19 with a data plan and buy as you go minutes that you go back to the early 1990s would be unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
How people would, it couldn't be. I have to tell you about one great article I read, excuse me, which was a comment about tech blogs and how there were a lot of people that were voicing their opinion, quite animated and in a nasty fashion. It might have been on, I don't know if it was on Twitter or the specific tech blog, but this one person was arguing, saying it's not fair that AT&T can offer their customers free access to DirecTV content.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Verizon. I don't like AT&T. I should be able to get the same thing. And it's like, don't you understand anything? I mean, what? You don't understand business then. Why do you buy the car that you buy? Why do you live in the house you live in or where you live? You choose based on what you can afford. Why does it? They should make it fair. Everybody should be able to shop at Lord and Taylor, and the prices should all be low. Okay, well, Walmart is one of the greatest things that ever happened for people of low income because you've got thousands and thousands of products at incredibly low prices.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make it all fair and let's set the price for everybody. So, what do you think will happen? Quality and innovation will stop.
Of course. I mean, and why did AT&T buy DirecTV?
To have a competitive advantage.
No, to give it to Verizon. Come on.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, we want to make sure, we want to force all the other ones to have to
that's
do
right.
the same thing. It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy. It's just,
that's the problem.
Really, it's common sense, and people just don't. There's another article I read. A person came out and got crucified for saying that political correctness is destroying the innovative spirit of Silicon Valley, because he said there are things that new ideas come from 50 crazy ideas, out of which one good idea that's developable comes out. But now people are afraid to mention new ideas because somebody might be offended. What about this idea? It's just like you might come out with this crazy thing. Nah, that won't fly because you'll alienate this group or you'll piss off these people or whatever. But the point is, you should be able to bring it up in an environment where you don't have to worry about.
You should.
Let's have. I think about it today. Let's develop a new internet that's only for people of a specific heritage or background. Okay, right? Let's do that.
Yeah.
And most people would say, I don't think that's a good idea. But why can't you bring it up? to say, well, that might actually serve a specific group of people that might need coverage. You might have South Pacific Islanders who are underserved and who need a cultural channel that's going to help them. Well, then that's a good idea. But if it's going to be exclusive of other people where they can't get in because they're not of a specific, then it's not a good idea. So it's the sniff test, right? If you can have and I'm going to go off in the weeds here, and it's going to get politically incorrect for a moment. But if you come up and say, I'm going to have the new channel that's for this specific group of people, and it's a group of people that are thought to be underserved, everybody thumbs up. We're going to have the all new one that's for this majority, hands down. Well, why should it matter? If you should, well, first of all, there should be no reason why you should have to even do that. I don't know. It's just, I want to tread lightly here. I don't want to go off into the, it just seems like, I should probably just come out and say it.
Think about it. No.
Think about it for a minute. Yeah.
No. Let's.
It's the sniff test. If you present exactly the same thing, and you say, intended for this audience, it's great. Intended for that audience, it's wrong. Something's not right.
Yeah,
it should be intended. You know what I'm saying?
I would like for anybody that can tell me what net neutrality did for us that couldn't have happened without. I'd like to know. I mean, I'm trying to find what you can't find anything. People say, "Oh yeah, it hasn't been long enough." Well, then maybe we didn't need it. It's amazing, and a lot of people don't know that it just started in 2015. They think it's been there from the beginning of the internet.
Well, that's the campaign that they had. There was a woman, I think she was a congressman. She was screaming in tears at a press conference, talking about how these new rules will prevent women from getting access to the healthcare information that they need. It's like, well, how did they get it before 2015? It's not going to stop anybody. It's not, you really, and this is the scare tactics that they're using. It's just insane.
Well, I mean, look at what Alan is saying. If one media company has rights over the content, doesn't that limit the availability to those who have the dollars and desire to view it? Well, if you want HBO, you have to go and subscribe to HBO. If you don't subscribe to anything, you can't say, well, they have the rights to this content and I want to see it. Go subscribe to it. If you want,
well, that's the same argument with the Verizon guy.
Yeah,
didn't want to go to AT&T. I don't like AT&T, but I should still get that for free.
Right. You see, that's the thing. You like Alan is saying, if you have the money and you want to watch it, change.
Yep, exactly.
And you go to where the services are. This is what business is all about. Every company has some edge or another. And you have to decide, well, what's more important for you? To be with Comcast and get bad customer support, or go to AT&T and have DirecTV, or go to Speculum and I mean, this is business, and that whole thing is business. If you take it on the personal side, then sure you can say, well, we all should have it. But that doesn't work like that. It never did. And I tell you what else is driving me crazy about this whole thing. We are trying to regulate the internet here with net neutrality, sort of. Again, forgetting that the internet is not a U.S. thing. The internet is a worldwide don't call it organization, but whatever, You cannot tell other countries what to do. Now, there are some countries that do have something similar to net neutrality. But the thing is, you cannot tell the rest of the world what to do and what not to do with content, with throttling, or any of that stuff. And when you try to explain to somebody, you know, if a company decides that they're going to throttle, there'll be another company that will not throttle, and they will take advantage of that. And they will tell you, come to us, we don't throttle. Who's going to be the loser? The company that throttles. So this is like the Cold War. Everybody has nuclear heads, but nobody would dare use them because the other side can do more. It's and I don't understand what these people are gaining. Or what did they gain? Obviously, they didn't gain anything. But what are they gaining from continuously trying to knock it down? To say that, oh, it's going to destroy. What are you going to be gaining from it? Other than creating fear in people that really, don't take it the wrong way, people that don't understand. And people that listen to those stations that are promoting fear and misinformation and fake news. What are they gaining by it? What is it going to accomplish? Nothing. So it's just ridiculous. All right. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K voice on Skype. If you have any,
I think it's funny that
opinion,
the people who are pushing the people who are pushing for net neutrality are the same ones that are pushing for silencing people.
Yeah.
You can't say that. You can't say that in the open marketplace. You can't say that on a college campus. You have to have a safe space.
If you have opinions, call us. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K voice on Skype. Let's talk about it. It makes a lot more sense to talk versus us trying to figure out what's going on in the chat and address it. So AIM was discontinued last Friday also.
I heard the door slam when it ended.
Somebody,
you didn't hear that noise?
I heard. I think it was. I think they were hammering.
It was over.
No, they were using nails to hammer it to nail it shut, so nobody would open it. I mean, AIM lasted for what? I mean, it was back in the 90s, right?
That was my first. I mean, that was the very first instant messenger handle that I had. And it goes back, let's see, if I'm 62 and my handle was SkyPilot 43, because that was my age at the time.
Oh, boy.
19 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
It's but I guess at this point, people are not using it. There are other services. There is texting. There is.
What's texting?
Yeah, but I don't know. People keep talking about it. Now look at this. T-Mobile. Here's another one. T-Mobile has revealed that it's launching a TV service in 2018. And that it has acquired Layer 3 TV, a company that integrates TV streaming and social networking, to make this happen. The company thinks people are ditching cable due to the providers, not TV itself, which in many cases that's true.
I think it's more. It's because of the policies of the providers and the legal structure that's in place now to have all these channels where you have to pay for channels you would never watch. I just this week went over to a friend's house and helped him sort out his network and put in some Ethernet drops. He cut the cord. He went with Sling TV and YouTube TV.
Mm-hmm.
and now that's all he's got. So U2 TV in the Raleigh market is offering local channels.
Yeah. I mean, they
I don't
have.
think they offer Fox. There's something for some reason they don't offer the local Fox affiliate. I don't know why. But so between those two, he gets everything he wants. He has more sports now than he had before when he had cable, and he's paying for the minimum spectrum internet, which is 100 meg service. I don't know what it costs.
Yeah,
49,
something like that. 69.
So the total bill is coming into, let's see, I think YouTube is $32 and Sling is more a la carte. I'm not sure what he got from Sling. So I bet he's coming in at $80, $90.
Yeah.
When his cable bill was like $64.99. That's what it is for basic internet now. Ooh. This is the problem in Apex. We don't have competition here because we have community power. Google Fiber and AT&T Fiber went to the easy places to work with. They want to work with Duke Energy because they have the right of way throughout we're not part of Duke Energy, so they'd have to deal with a much smaller administrative entity. So they just said, nope, not coming there.
Yeah. And talking about providing and AT&T has started trials to deliver high-speed internet over power lines.
I heard that. Yes.
Yep. The company announced
It's done in the UK. I know that they have it in the UK in certain places because their power grid is built differently than ours. They have big central transformers, whereas we have small pole and ground-mounted transformers where it doesn't make it as easy. But they're saying delivering Wi-Fi over the power lines by having the signal distributed across the power lines and then having big Wi-Fi access points on the power line.
It's just like the extenders that people use at home over power lines.
Yeah. Oh, it's no reason why they couldn't get it to work because it's a very, very controlled environment. They know exactly how it works and what's going on. So that'd be great. Yeah, remember when Clear came out, how their model was at first was going to be urban, and then they switched to rural because they realized that there was no urban market.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I don't. They got bought by somebody, right? I don't remember who picked them up.
I don't remember, but it didn't work.
High speed, but for people who didn't have access, it was great.
Yeah, they're saying that their aim to eventually deliver speeds faster than the 1 gigabit per second consumers can currently get through fiber internet service using high frequency
theoretical maximum of 1 gigabit.
Well, yeah, all these theoretical maximums have been
you'll never
smashed
get that much
again and again. But they're saying they're using high frequency airwaves that travel along power lines. So they already have.
You know what it is? They should contact that asteroid that they think is an alien ship, and just let them host all the internet for us. Alien will all get a little alien technology puck that will sit on, in the living room, and it will connect to the asteroid, and they'll just broadcast everything, the whole universe worth of channels we'll get. Why not?
Yeah, well, it could be. You're right. Why not?
Oh, I have to go. Let's see. I'm going to just reach over with my phone. I'll be right back.
All right. Remember last week we talked about Patreon.
I wanted to bring up a cool app that I found.
Oh, okay. I'll come back to that story later. Go ahead.
What's that?
No, never mind. I was going to just... never mind. You go ahead. You go.
No, we can wait.
So last week we were talking about Patreon, that they were putting fees on people, and people were pissed off. So they reversed that.
Who is this?
Patreon. Patreon is like, you know what it is. You go and you set up an account and you tell people to go and donate to you, and they are like patrons. And you get monthly or whatever donations from people who wants to support you this way, and it makes it easy for people to support multiple outlets or whatever in one place. And they decided they were going to put some fees on that, and people just got, hey, wait a second. So he said folks have been adamant about the problem with the new system. So basically, we have to solve those problems first. I mean, they finagled the way to say, yeah, we screwed up. So go ahead.
You're saying they put throttles, or you mean they put a limit on how much people could donate?
No, what was going on is they were putting a fee on each donation.
Ah, okay.
And they were saying that people that donate to one or two people, that's not going to affect. But there are a lot of money to one or two people. But if you decided, okay, I'm going to really help a lot of people, and I'm going to donate, instead of $50 to one person, $5 to 10 people.
Then you get hit with the same fee.
Then you get the
times.
fee 10 times. And that's a screw up.
Well, they got to stay in business, right?
Well, yeah, but they've been in business for years and years now.
So what changed about their model that they felt this was a good idea?
I have no idea, but obviously they didn't check it. They did not work it out. It's almost like somebody said, let's do this. We'll make more money. And without testing, without looking at what could happen, I don't know. But the point is, it's no longer. So that's nice. So what about that app that you found?
Oh, yeah. Well, going through, I went and looked at apps, phone apps, and PC applications for doing wireless survey, because my friend was saying that he had Wi-Fi and he also had a separate garage out in his yard that was separate from his house. That he had a man cave upstairs, and wanted to know what the signal strength was, and was looking at getting a new wireless router and all this stuff. So I looked around for tools, free tools that were useful. And there's lots of stuff on several free survey tools, home versions of professional tools that are available online or on your PC that are very good. You can actually build heat maps and so on of wireless environments. I used to do this survey stuff. But a cool little tool, very simple for your phone, is called Dr. Wi-Fi. You load this tool, and it has a very basic test. You connect to the wireless network you would like to look at, and the first thing you can do is just check speed by testing speed, and it does a back and forth upload and download across the wiring. It's like the same idea that you would get for its speed test. It does a ping to a server, and then it does an upload and a download. And it's very effective. And visually, it's very easy to understand, which is what I like about it. Then it has a signal strength meter that you can take, and you start it. And I don't know if you can actually see. Let me see if I can hold it up here and you'll actually be able to see this. I don't know that the glare will work.
No. It's okay.
And it has a dB meter on here, and you can walk around the house, and it tells you what is good and bad signal strength. Very easy, very graphically easy to understand. But you can tap the record button, and you can say, I'll be in the room that's furthest from my access point, record, and it will record the signal strength at that location, which you can edit. And then it actually has you can detect all the local networks around you. It's just a very clever tool. It does a survey of all the devices on that Wi-Fi network. Is no longer able to give you MAC addresses, because that's something that Apple, in their idiocy, decided to restrict. Prior to that, you could use survey tools on your Apple phone, and it would show you the actual MAC address. And now they feel that that's a security breach, so they actually removed that function. So the people that write these tools are actually trying to get a exemption for that, because because that's why you have the tool in many cases in the first place, is you want to find out what the MAC addresses are. You can do it from a PC. Who cares? You can still do it. It's just that you can't do it on the phone. So
yeah, so you can walk around the house and you can see where is bad spots, where is good spots, and then
it's very helpful.
You can also you can have somebody with a little walkie-talkie by the router or by your the main access point, and you can tell them to move the antennas, and you can see when it gets better.
Tuning and tweaking.
Yep, and tweak it.
That's something people don't realize. That I would encourage you. There is a good YouTube video. If I can find it, I'll post it in the chat about antenna technology. This guy's an antenna engineer, and he's got several videos on YouTube explaining how antennas work, just in general. And he says, well, you know, the orientation of an antenna is important. When you look at the wave, if the antenna is oriented one way and the wave is transmitted in another way, another plane, then the signals can only intersect at a very small area, cross section. Right. If they're on the same plane, then they can intersect at much higher percentages. So it explains, that's why antenna orientation is so important. So I'll see if I can find that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do at home with adjusting the antenna. The reason that's the reason to have a router or an access point that have many antennas on it, and you see some of them that are like spiders. I mean, you don't just leave them up. You go and you move one this way, the other one the other way, this one is a little different. If they're all in the same direction, I mean, it may work if it's a small house or apartment, but you need to take advantage of these antennas. They're there for a reason. They move around and swivel for a reason.
The newer access points, you'll see that they'll have. That's why they have 6 antennas.
Yeah. I mean, mine has 3 antennas. And it's weird the way that they are arranged, but that's how we adjusted them so the best signal comes out. But it was weird the other day when you were here and you were right by the access point, the signal was low, and going a room away, and it was much higher. So it just shows you that those antennas, I mean, even if you're close by, you really, I mean, if you want to get good signal around the house or the apartment, you need to play with these antennas. Yep. And even if you have an old router and it has only one antenna, and the spot, your favorite spot, you don't get access, move that antenna around. If you raise that router 1 foot higher than where it is, or lower it, I mean, there's no telling, you may solve your problem. If you bend the antenna a little bit one way or another, you may solve your problem.
Don't break the antenna. Don't bend it.
Yeah, no, don't, no, right. No, from the swivel, from the universal joint down there at the bottom. That's a good point. I did not mean bend that at Oh,
I moved my access point down to my entertainment furniture, whatever. This was originally designed for a 36-inch CRT television, and so it's a big monument, monolith in my living room. But that I recently adapted. I took a 40-inch television and I put it inside, built a shelf for it, so now it looks like a custom built-in TV. But the problem with that was that all my electronics are inside that shelf. Mm-hmm. And the router's sitting in there, and I realized, no, I need to move it to the top of that cabinet because I've got so much stuff in there potentially blocking the signal. I'm going to move it to the very top so I can have it be it'll give me better performance upstairs.
Yeah.
I did finally I told you how I had put my cloud drive in there, and because I put up Christmas decorations, I could no longer move the thing out of the way. So I did actually kind of crawl in there and reach in, and I pulled it out. So now it's upstairs.
Okay.
I moved it. I was trying to. I wanted to get the cloud drive out. I thought I was having a problem with it. And I couldn't see it. Couldn't see the lights. Couldn't tell anything.
That's painted
it
yourself into a corner.
I was behind the television in this console with no access. So
Yep.
it was a stupid thing. Oh,
Yep.
well. So I posted the link to the guy who is the antenna guy. Now, this specific video talks about antennas, but he's coming from, in this video, the perspective of a remote control, like RC planes and cars perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's still radio frequency. It doesn't matter what it is. It'll talk. He tells you about electromagnetic waves, and it's a good basis for antennas. And then he has other videos too that get deeper into it. But this one is good. I had to go back and watch it a second time because he covered a lot of good technology. But
all right,
good stuff. I think people were surprised when I explained, when I was looking at doing that survey. I showed them on the one PC survey tool I had. Here are all the networks that are touching your house, and he lives in a relatively open community. The houses are not that close together. I said, you can see 32 different wireless networks, and let's look. What channel are they on? 80% of them were channel 1.
Mm-hmm. Because that's what it comes in.
That's a default. Some default to channel 6.
Yeah.
There are only 3 in the 2.4 gigahertz frequency space. There are only 3 non-overlapping channels, and it's either 1, 6, or 12. I don't remember exactly. I think it's 1, 6, and 12, or 11. And if they're all set to 1 or 6, so you need to go in. So the new technology, the 802.11ac technology, which is the readily available stuff that's out there now that's got good prices. The AD technology is there, but it's very expensive. That's the next generation. But the AC stuff automatically sets frequencies and automatically adjusts signal strength to get around interference and problems, which makes it such a good technology. But and wireless N, the standard before AC, actually did that, depending on the how sophisticated your router was, your wireless router. But the automatic settings on some of this, if you have an older router and you don't know, look up your router's configuration guide, go in and set your frequency to 6 or 11.
Your channel.
And
the channel.
The channel of
don't look for frequency. Look for channel. Look for
channel. It's channels. So the wireless spectrum in the United States is regulated by the FCC. You'll see some routers will actually let you choose when you start it up for the first time what geographic region you're in. So if you select Europe or something like that, it's going to assign different frequencies to the channels, and it could be a problem. There are some channels that are restricted in the United States that cannot be used. They're used for other emergency services or something like that. So you don't want to get yourself in trouble.
Right.
Now, chances are they won't be coming looking for you, but
well,
it might restrict.
This is
the
not
devices that you connect to it. You might be restricted in how many channels are available to your specific device. If it's set up, one is set up for Europe and the other set up for the United States, you're not going to have as many available channels.
And when you are doing it, this is not like coming out of your driveway, looking to the left and see that there's a lot of traffic going to the right. You're looking to the right, there's no traffic, and you go to the right. You don't know which channels are mostly used in your neighborhood. So you have...
And you don't know how much, just the fact that there are people who are sitting idly connected to those channels, they're always broadcasting. They're always listening. So this is what they call shared spectrum. The same way if you connect to somebody on an Ethernet cable, you're all trying to talk at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not That's why we introduced switching into the Ethernet networking space, where you can actually have two PCs talk directly to each other and not have to hear
the other guys that are
the
on
transmissions of
yeah.
other. It's greatly increased the capacity of Ethernet.
Right. So the bottom line here is you have to go and switch to another channel and see how it works, and another channel and see how that works. There's no magic.
That's why that little tool is so handy, because you can say, okay, switch it to channel 6, switch it to channel 7, switch it to channel 8, and do the same test each time.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to reconnect your device, your phone. You'll have to make sure you drop and reconnect so that you switch to the correct frequency if it doesn't happen automatically, and then just run the same test again. I get much better results with channel 11 than I did with channel 6.
Yep. And you leave it like that, and it may be that a certain time of day it will be worse. So you need to test it and go and, okay, yeah, this is the best I get, and now you know that you got the best out of your devices.
The prices of this stuff, you can go to Walmart and they carry Linksys, Netgear, and TP-Link now at Walmart.
Yep.
So they have 3 different models. They have an entry level, a middle model, and a high-end AC router. The high-end AC router is $119, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Hello,
morning,
Nick.
Nick.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
He's in the original cave.
Yes, sir.
But there's no mixer there.
You guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you.
We hear you.
We can hear you fine.
Oh, okay, great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You woke up.
I've been up. I'm just trying to get all this whole thing set up here. This headset is very weird. Everything echoes through it. I can't figure out why.
Oh.
It sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know why everything echoes, though. Very, very weird.
It's fine. Which microphone are you on?
This one on the headset.
The headset. I see. Are you going to do the show tonight like this?
Yeah.
Okay. That's
no.
I mean, you sound fine.
Nah, no, I don't sound fine. It sounds terrible.
Your sync is way off. Just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, Nick's equipment is down here, so it's
still way off.
You were way out of focus. Your autofocus. Go ahead.
Is it still way off?
No, it's fine.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll refresh.
It's perfect now. Yeah.
Excellent.
Those of you that have kids, the French government is planning to ban students from using mobile phones in the country's primary, junior, and middle schools. While children will be able to will be permitted to bring their phones to school, they will not be allowed to get them out of at any time until they leave, even during breaks. How does it work over here now? I mean, are there any limits on kids bringing cell phones to school?
I can't speak for right now. See, the thing is, when I was going through middle school and even elementary school, cell phones weren't really a thing that everybody had.
Right.
I remember in, I guess it would be junior high. You were supposed to have your phone in your locker.
Okay.
In their bag with them. Nobody followed that rule because it was stupid. In high school, you were allowed to have them on you. Couldn't use them in class, but I believe you could use them in the hallway.
Oh.
I think. Remember. Everybody used them anyway. Nobody really, I mean, it was such a lost cause because you're literally, I mean, everybody was using them constantly anyway, so it was kind of hard to enforce.
Do you know anybody that got their phone confiscated?
Oh, I got mine taken multiple times.
And what happens at that point? Do you have to get your parents to come in to get them, or they just give it to you at the end of the
That's
day?
what they try. No, that's what they try, and that's well, my parents aren't coming in, and that's my property, so and you're not taking it because you don't have the right to. So I just take it back and leave. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing with it is they use this some like weird fear mongering thing. So, I mean, I never really had a big issue with it.
Okay.
Actually, no, I don't think you could use them in the hallway. I don't. Honest to God, I don't remember.
It's fine. It's all right. I mean,
The rules were very stupid. All I remember is that the rules were incredibly stupid.
And all they need is to have a lockdown situation where the kids need to be able to call out and have confiscated phones. That wouldn't go over too good.
Yeah. I just remember. I remember being completely backwards.
Yeah, it's like they make decisions off the cuff, and then they say, "Oh, wait a second. No. That's not a good thing to do. We shouldn't have done that." And they change, and they change, and they change. That's what I was asking if anybody knew how it is right now. Anyway,
I would assume that now those rules are probably different now that 99% of the students have cell phones. 98% of the students have cell phones. So let's see. Even when I was a freshman in high school, not everybody had a smartphone.
All right. Hey, Spence, you ready to do specials?
What's that?
Are you
specials?
ready for? Yep.
I will give me a moment and I will have the specials up and running here. And this week it's going to be Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, I should say.
No Christmas gifts.
No Christmas gifts. We're not allowed to say that anymore.
Oh,
yes, we're allowed. Yes, we're allowed.
I feel appropriated.
Winter solstice gifts.
Excellent. There you go. That's there. Now we're on the money.
All we'd be insulting is druids. Oh.
It's Christmas and Hanukkah gifts. Okay?
That's the way I have it set up.
Yep, it's Christmas and Hanukkah gifts.
I'm offended.
That too bad.
I hope so.
Find another podcast to go to.
Fine.
All right. So thank you to the three sources I used to search around for this, and it was CNET, The Telegraph, and bestproducts.com. There's so many places you can go and look for this stuff. But just to get a quick overview of some of the cool things that are out there. And for the most part, these are mainstream things. They're not, the last page is some wacky stuff, but for the most part, it's mainstream stuff that most people would like, one reason or another. All right, so Computers 2K Now, holiday tech gifts for 2017, and today is December 17th, 2017. And starting out with the Nintendo Switch. What do you think of this, Nick? Nintendo Switch console.
I love it. I wish I could pull the trigger. I just can't do it. I can't push myself to do it. It won the console came out, it's been out a couple months. Recently, both Mario and Zelda won a whole bunch of awards at this year's Video Game Awards, which are kind of the two flagship games for this system. So there's a whole bunch of great games to play on this thing. I wish I'd pull the trigger on it.
What caught my eye, and the reason I put it up there, was that it will move. It will actually move your gaming experience to different I could switch it to your television, to your entertainment center. So there's all kinds of fun things you can do with this. Move around the house, take your game with you. It's just adding casting technology to the game platform, which is awesome. So your kid is in the car playing, and it moves in the house and moves to the television, and it moves upstairs to their bedroom. And whether you think that's good or not is,
it seems like I remember reading an article somewhere that says that the sales are forecasted to pass the Wii.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't doubt it.
It's selling like hotcakes. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't. I'm surprised this thing's in stock on Amazon right now, to be perfectly honest with you. This thing has been out of. Actually, it's not in stock. I don't think.
No, it's probably an after Christmas delivery, but at this point,
It's
so
crazy how popular this thing is.
So yeah, about $300, but that's changeable. Next product is the Nvidia Shield TV streaming console, and this is there's a lot of Android-based consoles out there, and this is on the pricey side. But this is, I mean, Nvidia is one of the driving forces in graphics. Just excellent technology, GeForce Now and so on. If you're interested in this kind of thing, if you haven't watched the video done by the head of development for the graphics division at Nvidia, where they actually came up with a computer model of a famous photograph taken of Buzz Aldrin climbing down off the LEM in 1969. They specifically did this because they took that picture and then they made a computer model of the entire scene to debunk the arguments that the lunar landing didn't happen, because people were saying, well, there's no way that he would be lit up like that when the sun is in this direction, and and so they were able to prove that the lunar soil was reflective and all. It was excellent. He does a 20-minute presentation on the technology they used to debunk. So these are smart people, and they're doing a great job. So 4K, high definition streaming to major platforms, nice form factor, and a little bit pricey. I think it's going to get better, but loaded with lots of apps, Android TV, Google Assistant on board, smart home appliance control, $179. And I wasn't aware of this new Echo Spot, which is this I'm actually interested in. What was the first one they had? The first one was Echo Show, which looked like a kind of a big alarm clock or something like that with the camera and the screen. This is the Echo with a camera and a small 2.5-inch round screen, which is totally programmable, which will do just about anything for you. I love this idea. If you're an Alexa user, to do a video call with somebody, to be your alarm clock, you can, Alexa, give me my morning update. I'd like to have substituted something other than CNN in that picture there. But Alexa, show me my front door, because there's somebody at the door. And this will take you to the video. So yet another interesting twist on Echo, on Alexa in general.
Just don't put it in
going
your.
For about $130.
Just don't put it in your bedroom.
Well, yeah, I don't know about the bedroom. I might have it at a desk in an office, but I mean, it's possible. You could always put a piece of tape over the camera if you're worried about it. But I like the idea of just having this little thing you could take around with you in the house, and do so many different things. It's just an easy, we're being trained and getting used to having this kind of stuff with us all the time. That's a little scary. All right. Usually there's some kind of interesting travel gift. They had something like this last year, but it wasn't as sophisticated. This is the in-case Novi connected travel roller, $300 rolling carry-on. Seeing these in airports everywhere now, because people want to have a charging supply, battery supply for their tech gadgets. Well, it's built into the suitcase. Well, not only that, does it has a 10,000 milliamp battery pack. It's got a USB-C connection. It's got full USB port charging for all compatible devices, and a built-in Bluetooth tracker, smartphone app, so you can find it in the airport. So it's really pretty cool. And then the price, you're going to pay $250 for a nice quality rollerboard anyway. So $300 is not unreasonable for something this sophisticated. So this is interesting. All these links,
but it's a lot heavier.
I don't don't know about a lot heavier, but
It's-
you're not measured on weight for carry-ons, at least not yet. They might do it soon. There's talk about it, but so it's out there. I mean, you before you would have to have a separate battery pack. You would have to have a separate set of cables or whatever you would need. You would have to have a separate like tile tracker that you would put inside your suitcase, and now you have all that stuff in one.
Oh, it's
Good or
only a
bad?
10 amp battery. Okay, I was thinking, that they put a good size
Car battery,
Well, not car battery.
like 24-volt diesel truck battery. Take up half the suitcase. Could you help me lift my carry-on into the overhead compartment? I can't get it off the floor. The next thing, and this was actually fascinating. I stumbled across this one. They have a lot of stock designs. These are wooden cases. They're not entirely wood. They couldn't be entirely wood, but they have wood inlays, beautiful wood cases for phones. And they've iPhone, Android, all the popular phone sizes. And they have their can designs, but they also have custom design. You can send them an image or a graphic, and they will custom make this for you. Aaron actually has a wood burning printer that does a small laser that will etch. So he could do this with a burning technique. It's not color, obviously, but I went to their website. It's excellent, and they still have some availability for delivering for the holidays. They're getting down to the wire here, but starting at $24. The typical price is going to run about $50. The ones that you see there now, one is a Seattle skyline. They have popular city skylines, and other, depending on the type of images that are on there, will determine the price. But really, really nice setup. And a thoughtful gift. You think about, well, what do I give people? Technology. It's like, well, this isn't really technology. This is art. Art that's wrapped around a useful device. So it's a good idea. All right. So this is for you, Amnon. For the person who has to have that brand new Mac smell all the time because it's so reassuring to them, this is a candle that will actually give you the freshly opened Apple hardware box smell. So you can always be, my new Mac, my new MacBook Pro, my new whatever it is I bought. I didn't realize it was a smell, and I must have missed it when I opened up my iPhone box, or my Mac box. But here you go, $30. Inspiring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of streaming boxes out there. There's a lot of streaming hardware out there, but the Roku Express, good reviews, and it definitely sums it up here. It says, dirt cheap, fast enough, and crammed with every streaming video app you'll care to name. The Express is a perfect stocking stuffer for Netflix, YouTube, and Hulu fans. $29.99 comes with the standard Netflix remote, and then the actual Express hardware itself, small.
So why would you?
$29.99.
So why would you want to have the one that costs $60-some versus this? What do you get?
Well, it's got to do with processor speed. I don't think this will do 4K. I don't know. I don't have the full picture of the Roku, of the base itself. I'm sure it has HDMI.
Okay, so the Roku Express is a stick.
It's a stick, yes.
So it's a stick. It's a stick device. And like they say, fast enough. It's very slow.
Okay.
But it's great for traveling. Like if you're somebody that travels frequently, this is great to throw in a carry-on or a luggage, because you don't need a fast Roku when you're traveling. For home use, probably recommend a Roku 3.
Yeah, you're going to want to go with something better.
But this is a great traveling device. I have one of these. It's fantastic.
And if you're a person that's in a hotel when you're traveling, you can look up. I can probably provide the link. There is a way to hook up your Roku into a Wi-Fi environment in a hotel, and it involves spoofing the MAC address. So you can find out what the Roku MAC address is. A lot of times you have to do a login to the Wi-Fi in the hotel. And how do you log in from the Roku? You can't. So what you do is you find out what the Roku's MAC address is. You spoof the address with your PC. You log in with the PC. You disconnect the PC. You turn on the Roku. And because usually your access lasts for 24 or 48 hours, the Roku is now on the network. So I did this when I was traveling. The first year I went to Alaska, I was in a hotel for a week. And I brought my Roku with me, and it worked. It was good. All right. Ecobee. I've talked about this one before. It's not very different, except that the prices have come down, and that's what makes it so attractive. The Ecobee 4 is the one that's got the built-in Alexa. I think even the Ecobee 3 now. It's kind of hard to distinguish the models. But it is, even if you're not an Alexa user for other things, just to have the voice assistant for controlling temperature in the house is actually useful. It does have full Alexa capability. It's just like an Alexa would be. You just talk to it, and it's just on the wall. But an Ecobee 4 with one sensor is $199. The sensor is a remote sensor. The thermostat itself has its own temperature sensor, but you can put one of these remote ones anywhere in your house within a certain distance from the base thermostat and pick up a temperature from that room. It's especially useful, like if you have a house that say you have a single thermostat in the middle of the house somewhere, but you have a room that you sleep in that's off to the side that either is too hot or too cold during the night because the temperature is being adjusted in the hallway, like I have. You can put the sensor in your bedroom and say from the hours of 11 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning, I want you to adjust the temperature for this room. And it works great. I've installed these for some of my customers. It does have a feature that you need to be aware of. Excuse me. When you set it to say, I want my bedroom temperature at this time to be this, it will start to do it by default 2 hours before the actual time. So it will start to adjust your temperature. I got actually a complaint. A customer said, I want my bedroom to be really cold at night, but my regular temperature in my living room should be this. He said, and it's supposed to start at 10 o'clock, but by 8:30, 9 o'clock, my living room was too cold. And it turned out it's because it was adjusting the temperature down to accommodate the bedroom at the set time. So you can turn that feature off. It's just a programmable. And their support is wonderful. The customer called the Ecobee support folks, and they went online and actually connected to the thermostat remotely and configured it for her. So it was great. What a very useful device. Of all the thermostats I've seen out there, I'm most impressed with this one. If you want to buy just a thermostat with the Alexa capability with no other sensor, it's about $148. So you're seeing some significant savings. And they're going to be around to stay. There was some question in the beginning as to whether they were going to make it past the first couple of rounds of VC money, but they're selling well. And Amnon, this is the one for you. This is what they call the Hush Me Kit, Bluetooth headphones. It's meant so that you can have a conversation and talk so nobody will hear you. If you're in an office and you don't want people to hear what you're saying. It's an actual product. This is a real product. It is, you can go to gethushme.com. I'm not really sure that I found some information about it. We're on GoFundMe, but it is available now. And I don't know what the original intended price was $200, but I don't know what it's actually going for.
Can you imagine walking like this in public?
Yeah, can you imagine? It's like, this is Silence of the Lambs. Is this guy?
I know.
What is this guy? Serial killer? You know, what's going on here? This is weird. But it actually got some good reviews. But I would imagine this is going to be a germaphobe's nightmare, because how do you keep this thing clean?
That's true.
And you don't want to share it with somebody. So yeah, kind of weird. And finally, this is for you, Amnon. This is the Alexa controlled coffee pot.
Oh, I thought it was
There's a bunch of stuff out there. There was a toaster. Griffin actually had announced that CNET, or not a CNET, what's the big communications show in January that introduces all the new products.
CES.
Yes.
Yeah, Consumer Electronics Show. They had actually announced a Bluetooth-controlled toaster. They called it Griffin Home. And there were a bunch of product toaster, coffee maker, a bunch of appliances that are, Internet of Things connected. And I went out to try to find it, and I can't really find any good information. I'm not sure. It's supposed to be available second quarter 2017. But this is what I found that's actually available on Amazon. 2 different models, and I guess it's sophistication of the actual coffee maker itself, but controlled by Alexa. So you wake up in the morning, you yawn, you say, Alexa, make coffee strong. And it will make strong coffee.
Yeah, but don't you still have to put the water and the filter and the coffee in it?
Well, no. That Alexa takes care of that for you.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
That's why, that whole thing with Amazon delivering boxes, you give them a key to the house.
You're going to have a stranger come into my house.
I have a coffee person that shows up middle of the night.
Wow.
Puts the coffee in. Yeah.
Jeff Bezos really does think of everything.
Amazing.
He's a great guy.
Absolutely amazing.
He'd never do anything wrong.
No, never. Never. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Again, thank you to CNET, The Telegraph, and bestproducts.com for these suggestions. And happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
Happy spending.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Thanks, Spence.
I did.
I'm sorry, Nick. I just mentioned something. Dirtbag says, cone of silence. If you've got to go online to YouTube and look at videos of Get Smart and the cone of silence. If you don't know what that is, just to figure out what we're talking about, it's hysterical.
I saw this yesterday. I can't find it now, but if anybody's looking for an iPhone X, trying to find the offer. Sam's Club is offering a $150 gift card when you buy one. I'm trying to see if I can find it. It's a pretty good deal. If you're looking for one, I think might go do that today.
What carrier do they have in Sam's Club?
I'm not sure. I would assume you can get it for any carrier.
I would guess, yeah.
I saw it somewhere yesterday, and
BJ's and Costco here have Verizon kiosks in their stores.
Yeah, here it is. It's a iPhone X plus a $250 gift card at Sam's Club.
$250. Wow.
I don't know. Let's see if it's still there. It says December 11th. Already gone. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Boy, TV prices have really gone down. Amazing. You walk around one of these warehouse clubs, excuse me, you want to go over to Walmart. If you're willing to buy a off-brand television, you can get a 4K 55-inch television for $500. It might be Element brand or something like that.
Oh, and I'm sorry, they are still running this offer. They're giving you a free $150 Sam's Club gift card. It's valid through the 25th. So you've got until Christmas. You got a week to get on that.
Okay.
Oh, did you see the headline this morning? I guess it came out overnight that Chris Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, NBC paid out a claim for harassment for Chris Matthews. All right.
It is really a wonderful Christmas time. It really is.
It's like 99% of these people that are dropping are people that actually you're going like, yes.
Another one bites the dust.
I hate to hear the fact that somebody had to be hurt for this to happen. But at least there's some kind of payback for this now. It might go.
I agree.
The fears are that it'll be so crazy now that you'll be able to say, like the one claim I heard was that some woman now is filing charges against this guy because he mentioned her long legs somehow.
Hey, Spence.
What?
You remember that time that I was in Raleigh and we went out to Olive Garden and you shook my hand? That was sexual harassment, right?
That's right. Oh, am I going to get a bill now?
Yeah, it really hurt my feelings.
But these people were coworkers. They were peers, and they were going to a business dinner or something like that. And the lady had to get in the car, and the seat was too far forward. He said, "Well, you'll have to move the seat back because of your long legs." That's what he said. And she now is coming forward and said, he harassed me because he mentioned my long legs.
Well, it's interesting without getting too much into it. It does beg the question of what, like, can you even say to even a female friend or a female coworker, you look nice? Can say anymore, or is that now sexual harassment?
Depends on the person. And you can't say
that's a problem.
They might like it now, but they might get converted in the future, and they might come forward and said, "He said I looked good one day 30 years ago."
I know
I want money.
It's tough. It's very tough.
It's ridiculous.
Now there's a new case. Did you see the one about I was a woman candidate for Congress who had to leave the race now because she's been accused of approaching male staffers, and when they refused her bidding. She fired them. Yep.
Now that's actual real discrimination right there. That's
if you're in a power position of control,
that's actual discrimination.
If you male or female approach somebody, say, "Hey, I'd like to have a date," and your coworkers, and they say no,
and you fire them.
What? That's not sexual harassment. Just to say, "Hey, would you like to go on a date?" and they say, "No, thank you." It's okay, thanks, appreciate it. But if it was your boss, then we're into the territory of it's wrong.
Yeah, unfortunately, now, I think chivalry is going to be dead. Right?
Oh, it's been dead
since we were doing specials. It has been dead for a while. Since we were doing specials, I saw this special, and I don't know if you can pull this up on the screen or not. For all the gamers out there, there's a great deal on a PS4 Pro with Call of Duty World War II for $350. So if you are if you know somebody that is looking for a PlayStation, this is a pretty good deal. The Call of Duty new is $60. And the PS4 Pro is normally $350 by itself, so it's a pretty good deal.
No, I don't know how to bring that up.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you had chat open.
Yeah, just stick it. Oh, is that it? The one?
Yeah, don't worry about it now.
All right. Yeah, people that want it, so it's right there. All right. Just a quick question, Nick. What's the weather like up there? What is the weather like?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Something's up with my internet here. What was the question?
What is the weather like up there?
Well, I got in about 1:30 last night from a party, and it was 14 degrees. So it was
but no snow.
Oh no, there's snow on the ground. Yeah, no, there's already snow on the ground.
Spence, you were saying?
I was just saying it's normal. The weather up there is normal for this time of year for him.
Actually, I thought the same thing. I looked at it historically this morning. It's actually a little bit colder. Our real cold winter doesn't start until January or February. Typically, it's unseasonably cold for December. Like the high today, I believe, is 26. That's not normal in December. That's more January, February type weather. But it's not surprising. I mean, it's
of course
the great Northeast.
It's global warming. That's what it is.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. Why would you be surprised?
So, back on the iPhone X. So, my cousin, who's a couple of years younger than me, for a while now about the iPhone. He's a big Apple fan. Him and I have been going back and forth with the iPhone X. And he's the one that told me about this Sam's Club offer yesterday. So he just texted me. He said, "Hey, I tried the iPhone X last night and was not a fan. Too small because it was too small because of the lack of the bezel. Also, much slower than Touch ID, and the display." He said the display was the only redeeming feature. I'm going out now to get the 8 Plus. That seems to be the consensus across the board. I believe Apple genuinely has a huge flop on their hand with this iPhone X. Apple fanboys that buy the latest revision of every single phone that are not buying the iPhone 10 or the iPhone X. And this is the first time in a while I remember that happening. I think the iPhone 5 was the last time that happened.
Well,
so just keep an eye out. If you're purchasing one of these things, go try it first, because a lot of people are not liking the iPhone 8, or excuse me, the iPhone X, and they're going for the 8 instead.
I just can't see spending that kind of money on a phone.
Well, think about it though. Realistically, Amnon, if you use this phone every day for 3 years, you're really not spending a lot of money on it. The cost is quite minimal, actually.
You can buy an 8, right?
Yeah, even Gene's mentioning the 8 Plus. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are doing. They're buying the 8 Plus. Because the X is not an impressive phone. Touch ID is a game changer. Ooh, looking at this, I might go do this today. The iPhone 8 also comes with the free $150 Sam's Club gift card.
There you go.
I may go out today and get one of these.
What's the price difference between the 10 and the 8?
I'm trying to. Of course, Samsung won't show me the price.
Yeah, no. I think it's about.
It shows me the monthly price. I'm looking for the
purchase.
I can look on Apple's website. I want to say it's like $200 difference in price.
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Let's see. So Minor LA in chat is asking the iPhone 8. All right, so here it is. The iPhone 8, the regular 8, so the smaller version of the 8 is $700 for the cheapest version, which is 64 gigs of storage. The 8 Plus is $799, and then I believe the iPhone X is $1,000. I'll verify that right now. But so $699, $799, and then I believe $999 for the iPhone X.
Yeah, so it's $200.
So $200 cheaper, but there's not good reviews on this phone, and it really makes me wonder what Apple thought going into this thing, because people are not jumping around over this phone.
Yeah, I guess we're going to find out one of these days.
Yeah. So I may ride over to Sam's Club today and pick that up. That's a pretty good deal with the gift card.
Yeah. Do you have a Sam's Club down in Wilmington?
Yep. There's one down there.
Okay.
But I don't have my membership with me. My parents have one, and it's up here.
All right. So here is something for people who are looking to go into school or to change directions. It's well established that talent is in short supply in the AI industry. But a new report from Chinese tech giant Tencent underscores how great the need might be. According to the study compiled by the Tencent Research Institute, there are just 300,000 AR researchers and practitioners worldwide. But the market demand is for millions of roles. These are unavoidably speculative figures, and the study does not offer much detail on how they were reached, but as a general trend, they fit with the other. More anecdotal reports. Around the world, tech giants regularly complain about the difficulty hiring AI engineers, and the demand has pushed salaries to absurd heights. Individuals with just a few years' experience can expect base pay between $300,000 and $500,000 a year, says the New York Times, while the very best will collect millions. So, if you're looking to get into a different field, if you're trying to get a better salary, if you have the knack for this type of a job, do it. AI engineer. And it seems like it's going to be just not enough, and it's going to go for a long time. That you will be needed around the world. It's great. It's really great. Instead of just go sit there and program something, you can do this. That's amazing. Base pay with just a few years experience between 300 and 500,000 a year. That is something that if I was younger, I would think about going to school and just learn how to work with this. We were talking about cell phones, huh? The California Department of Public Health issued a warning against the hazards of cell phone radiation this week. They are asking people to decrease the use of these devices and suggest keeping your distance when possible. The when possible is the problem here. TechCrunch reports that the warning comes after findings were offered up this week from a 2009 department document, which was published after an order from the Sacramento Superior Court. A year ago, Berkeley professor Joel Moskowitz initiated a lawsuit to get the department to release the finding after he started looking into whether mobile phone use increased the risk of tumors. A draft of the document was released in March, but the final release is more extensive. So according to the Federal Communication Commission website, there is no national standard developed for safety limits. However, the agency requires cell phone manufacturers to ensure all phones comply with objective limits for safe exposure. And they recommend not keeping your phone in your pocket, not putting it up to your ear for a prolonged amount of time, keeping use low if there are 2 bars or less. I don't understand that. Not sleeping near it at night, and to be aware that if you are in a fast-moving car, bus, or train, your phone will emit more RF energy to maintain the connection. That's an interesting situation here. There's no proof one way or another, but I guess it's better to be safe than sorry. People all over the world are talking and using it, and it's right on their ear and everything.
I'm very guilty of falling asleep with the phone next to me.
Well, I mean, look, cell phones, yeah, it hasn't been 30, 40, 50 years for smartphones to be around, but I think they've been around long enough that we would know. And nobody is publishing anything that does anything, that proves anything. So I don't know. What else? Okay, I'll go. I'll go. Here's something else interesting. People that use Chrome. Chrome 64 is now in beta, and it has several new features over version 63, in addition to stronger pop-up blocker and support for HDR video playback when Windows 10 is in HDR mode. Chrome 64 features site-wide audio muting to block sounds when navigating to other pages within a site. The thing that caught my eye here is Chrome, is Google, is YouTube. They make their money also from a lot of advertising, and they are introducing a stronger pop-up blocker. That's kind of weird. But that's what they're doing with Chrome 64. And here's an interesting story also. In a new installment of its Hard Questions series, Facebook acknowledged on Friday that social media can have negative effects on people depending on how they use it. This might be the first public acknowledgement from the company that its product and category in general can have detrimental effects on people. Facebook is also addressing the topic shortly after two former executives publicly criticized the company for what they described as exploiting human psychology. Passive use of social media, reading information without interacting with others, makes people feel worse. Clicking on more links or liking more posts than the average user also leads to worse mental health, according to one study. So, using Facebook, and in this case also Twitter and whatever, can be detrimental to your health. Comments? No comments?
I think, oh, sorry, I was muted. I think it's not can be,
It's not
detrimental to your health. It's not can be detrimental to your health. It is detrimental to your health.
So,
they're showing that, I mean, we talked about this before, about the statistics that have come out since the advent of smart devices and how generally depression has been on the rise and social interaction has been on the decline. And it's incredible.
So what? I mean, what do we do about it? I mean, are you suggesting? Let's say, I mean, if I was a parent of a 3-4-year-old, I would start limiting the use of the computer or the internet. Make sure that you bring them up.
Well, there's
Educated
different
the what?
Different plans for different situations. If you have young children now, yes, absolutely restrict it. If you've got kids who are already used to this, they need to have time off. You need to have times in the house when you turn off the Wi-Fi and turn off their access. So they're forced to develop other skills. And then if it's in a business sense, the company itself has to take the lead in understanding that, for example, you go to a meeting, everybody leaves their cell phone in a box. And they don't have a cell phone in a meeting because it does not promote interaction among people. And you've got companies now are struggling because people sit in their cubes and they won't talk to each other. They'll text each other and they're right next to each other. So there are things that need to be done from a business perspective because this is not promoting a good work environment. This is not promoting good social skills. You're going to have a bunch of people with just fractured social skills that just can't relate. I think it's going to eventually go full circle. They're talking now about implanting technology in your head so you can do a text message just by thinking about it. It's like, this is really, no, it's the technology is getting there.
Yeah.
It's really, really a bad idea. A bad idea. I think hopefully it's going to go away.
So Arnie is saying here that GSM Mobile sends with higher power when further away from the tower. Oh, that's why more radiation. I see. Well,
yeah, it just takes more. A moving signal is harder to maintain than a fixed signal. A fixed signal can adjust down to the lowest possible level to maintain a good signal. A moving signal is constantly having to adjust, so you need a higher transmit and receive levels. So,
who's here from from Scandinavia? I think is it? No, who is it? Alan, where are you? Anyway, Norway on Wednesday completed its transition to digital radio, becoming the first country in the world to shut down national broadcast of its FM radio network, despite some grumblings. This was planned and scheduled, and they're just going by the schedule. This is not really news that this is being done, but they did it. They said they were going to do it, and they did it. So the national, that doesn't mean that a station cannot have, FM is now silence across the dial, but it means that the national company, the national radio, is now all digital. And even though not everybody can receive it in their cars, and they want people are complaining that now they're going to have to buy new radios, and it's sort of like what we went through with HD digital TV. That's it. CRT is not going to work anymore.
Yeah, it's a little bit different with TV, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's sort of like the thing. Okay, now you had to go and buy this, and you had to get adapters, and you had to get this. It was a problem. That's what I mean. It's not. Oh no, this is not. What do you have to say about this, Nick?
But there's a couple of broadcasters that are refusing to go off air on FM, and they're essentially just going against the government's orders to shut off your FM transmitters, and they're pretty much telling the government to
so
go
you're
off.
Saying, I didn't read anywhere that they said that you have to.
No, it was mandated. Yes, it was absolutely mandated.
Oh, okay, I didn't read that.
And there's, I believe, two stations that are that are so far keeping their FM transmitters online, which is a little weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's weird that I'm saying it's weird that they would mandate this. Over here, nobody mandated that CRT will have to go to the dump. But if you want to have a CRT, keep it. But it's not going to serve you like it's supposed to. That's interesting. And to our friends in the North, there you go, Alan. A report released this week by the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Economic Development, ISED, confirms that Canada ranks among the top 3 most costly countries for mobile wireless plans, comparing the UK, Italy, France, Australia, Japan, and the US on 6 tiers of pricing, which looked at talk time, text, and data. The document shows that Canada has the most expensive mid-range and higher tier plans in the world. It is unacceptable that Canadians continue to pay ever-rising prices year after year for something as critical as mobile communication services, said Kathy Anderson, digital rights advocate at Open Media. And if Mike was here, what would Mike say to this? Yeah, but they
What
have,
would he say?
He would say yes, but they have free health care.
Huh.
You know,
Yeah.
That's for Mike. Minor, you tell him. I mean, if he's not listening, tell him I said that. But this is, I mean, come on, this is not a third world country that the technology has to be, that they have to pay a lot for the technology to implement it. Why is it? What's that? I'm hearing something.
Hmm?
I was hearing something like
Wasn't me.
radio. Nick, are you listening to something that may have slipped in?
I mean, I think something auto played. That's maybe what you heard.
Okay. So that I mean, you know, why is Canada so expensive? Why?
Maybe it's got to do with their regulatory environment. Maybe because they didn't try to invoke, or maybe they have their own version of net neutrality. I mean, they do what they do. They're a sovereign country, and they have their control, and it doesn't mean they're necessarily modeled against the United States. So.
No, it's not against. I mean, they were comparing them to other countries too, UK and like say France, Australia.
Well,
Japan.
it's got to do with. I mean, they maybe they had. I don't know if they went through a similar deregulation phase like we went through with telecommunications. I know that they were part of the Bell system. Bell Canada and the Bell system in the United States were both from the same parent company. It wasn't until the 50s that they broke them out separately. And then like Northern Telecom, where I used to work, Nortel, was actually Bell Northern Research, which is the same as Bell Labs in the United States. They had the same technical trajectory. They were just separated as far as entities go. But maybe their deregulation happened later. Maybe there aren't as many carriers active up there because of some regulatory environment. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know.
But when you have to have your plan within your borders and you have no other choice, it's like it's what you pay.
I guess it's so. There were no numbers, but I'm wondering what it means. Most expensive. Arnie is saying, and the population is very spread out, and more towers per 10,000 people. Yeah. Oh, here it is. We're at the mercy of three huge companies, two of whom are media providers and charge through the nose. Yeah. That would happen. That's exactly what will do it. Nine 518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype. Let's hear from somebody. And for those of us in streaming and watching videos on YouTube and all that, I mean on Facebook, Facebook is going to start running pre-roll ads on its watch videos next year. While you won't see your news feed full of video ads, you will start to see pre-rolls, which will run for up to 6 seconds on videos in Facebook's Watch Hub. Facebook launched its Watch Hub earlier this year using mid-roll ads. The fact that they have added pre-rolls should be read as an admission that the mid-roll ads aren't generating significant revenue for Facebook or the publishers putting video into Watch. Speaking of those mid-roll ads, Facebook now says they won't appear until later in videos, and they and they'll only run on longer videos. Now, what is a longer video? It says the ads, it calls them ad breaks, can't run until a minute into the video, and they can only run if the video is at least 3 minutes long. At first, the ad could run after 20 seconds, and on videos as short as 90 seconds. So there are ads coming in there. It's free. It had to happen sooner or later. Looks like it's happening sooner than later. But yeah, those ads, mid-roll, I didn't know that they have mid-rolls. Pre-rolls, well, 6 seconds, it's not a big deal, but mid-rolls is where I think, Nick, with Twitch, you can tell it when to play an ad.
Yeah, you can. If you're a broadcaster, you can.
I think it's the
play ads for everybody.
I think it's the only service that actually has it together. That you can tell it when to do it, so they don't just take you out of the picture and suddenly playing an ad. And I was wondering about this from the days of Bamboozer and Ustream that we were using, that they were doing mid-rolls, and that's the reason we went away. We left them and went away, because for a talk show, I mean, the ad may come at the most important point of the show. And Twitch is doing it the right way. All right, guys, it's that day, that time of day. Anything
It can't
else?
be. It feels like we just started.
Yep, it does.
Oh, I have the project today of trying to clean up my garage after my storage failure.
Yeah, and I told you, Spence, I know a good handyman that can.
Yeah, he's expensive though. I don't know if I can afford him. Well, this has to lead to a better strategy of just getting my mess cleaned up out there. I save everything, and that's the problem. Is I have bins of small pieces of wood that I think I might use someday, and it's just crazy. I have to get rid of it. Mm-hmm. Can I bring it over to your place and just dump it on your lawn?
Oh, of course you can.
We can have a bonfire. We can. What you do is you have to build up your ice station zebra out on your lawn, and then we'll have a bonfire, and we can sit and enjoy the ice sculptures and the fire at the same time.
All right. Nick, anything you wanted to add? Nick is in his own world.
No, it's not. I don't have anything to add. I have to keep muting my microphone because I guess you can hear everything. So,
what's your subject for tonight's show?
Don't know yet. I got to figure that out.
Chris Matthews.
Yeah, that'll probably be one of them.
Nick, all you have to do is just say that over and over again. Chris Matthews.
Oh, okay.
Chris Matthews.
I'll just say it once, and then I can move it for 44 minutes, I believe, is what my runtime is.
Did you watch, Nick, or Spence, did you watch Laura Ingraham when she was talking with Herman Cain? I think that was Thursday night. Or maybe
no, I'm not a big Herman Cain fan.
Friday night, maybe. Anyway, they were talking about what, the economy and how the economy now, since Trump came in, is doing great and it's growing and it's an economic boom. And there was also a guy from the other side, and he said, yeah, but you are overlooking all the economic boom that we had in the 8 years of Obama. And she turned and she said, what economic boom? Can you tell us something about it? He said, yeah, healthcare. And they both looked at each other like, did he really say that?
I understand economic boom when they blew it up. That was a boom.
It was interesting. It was really interesting.
These are the true believers, Amnon. You
Yeah,
can't.
I know. It's all
Some of
right.
the stuff you can't make up.
This too shall pass. All right.
You're just too stupid to know how good it is for you.
Yeah. Like Mike always said, look in your 401k and you'll know.
Yep.
Okay. I guess that's it. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Nick, Spence.
Thank you, sir.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9. But you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Tonight at 7, Nick Craig hosts Against the Norm on Wilmington Big Talker 106.7. And you can listen to it on tuning. Just look for Big Talker. Is it the Big Talker, Nick, or well, how do you look for it on TuneIn?
Search for WFBT.
Okay, WFBT. All right, everybody. Bye-bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.